Welcome to this webinar about ReachOut. We will make a quick introduction explaining what ReachOut is all about. Then we'll take you through a demonstration and we will create a beta testing campaign using the ReachOut Beta Center. Also, during the demonstration, we will make a focus on using the ReachOut dashboard, which is the special topic for the webinar for today. And here we go. So ReachOut is a support action funded by the European Commission. And the goal of ReachOut is to help European projects in the area of software engineering develop market value and reach out to their end users by developing their own beta testing campaigns. So creating value for a research project means more than simply producing the project deliverables. There are many more attributes which create value for the project results. I will not display them. I will not go in detail through them now. And so beta testing is actually a key phase in the software development cycle. So after the initial alpha version, the beta version is ready to be tested by external end users over some short period of time. This is what the beta testing campaign is all about. And beta testing has many benefits. It provides a focus point for the project, which can align their expectations. So the project partners can focus on this. Beta testing also provides feedback, which of course can be used to increase the quality of the product. It also enforces other necessary product attributes, so including documentation, packaging, installation, etc. And thus it increases the value of the project. And finally, of course, the feedback provided by the beta testers can be useful to identify further exploitation of the project results. So what we like to say is that for a project to be able to develop and implement their own beta testing campaign is already an important milestone. It proves that the project has what it takes to engage with the external actors, to bring value to the market, and to develop their own ecosystem. So at ReachOut, we've developed an entire 5-stage methodology to help you implement your own beta testing campaign. All the details are on the ReachOut website, but in short, this covers the phase of deciding the objective of the campaign and the role of the partners. So that's more the strategy phase, and then a technology phase where you prepare the software for beta testing. You write the documentation, communication material, the questionnaire, and then you actually engage with the beta testers and you manage them. And finally, you analyze the results and you share those results. So in ReachOut, we've built it all for you. So we provide you the tools and the templates for each of those building blocks. This is what we call the beta center in ReachOut. So we will take you through those tools in the demonstration and also now to display them. So the first one is the campaign manager page, which is where the campaign managers can register on the beta tester, and then they're given their own page from which they can access the resources that we provide them with. They can edit the project description and create the campaigns. So creating a campaign is done through a campaign page, which is a form that we provide. And so through this campaign page, you fill in the form the necessary information, and then a public campaign page, a public campaign will be automatically generated, and also the associated questionnaire and a mailing list that goes together with it will be generated by ReachOut. The monitoring dashboard, which I will show in more details during the demonstration, is, as it says, a monitoring dashboard, which provides 24 checkpoints about the management, about the preparation, and about the execution of the campaign. And this dashboard can be used to self-monitor the progress of the campaign. It's also a means to share the progress with the ReachOut project team, to communicate, if you would like, with your partners, and in case of a research project, to the project reviewers as well. So when a campaign is created, the ReachOut platform generates a questionnaire, which is based on a template. So this template contains a mix of open and close questions. It's entirely customizable. You can remove, reword, or add any question. And for each feedback that is returned by beta testers, the campaign manager will receive an email message. And finally, all the answers, all the responses to the questionnaire can be visualized in an online dashboard. There's a graphical statistics view, and you can also export the responses in various formats. It's based on the Lime survey software. Uh, so there's also more templates and tools which are provided in the Beta Center, including some templates for and tools for documentation. There's a communication package containing a number of emails that you can use for the promotion of the campaign and the recruitment and motivation of beta testers, a number of fine prints, and a reporting package which you can use, which will be provided by the ReachOut project team and which will be shared with the campaign manager. So the typical timeline of a beta testing campaign would be something between 3 to 5 months, depending on how ready you already are. So the first phase of preparation would take 1 to 2 months, about identifying the various goals, preparing the test plan, the documentation, the communication material, building the contact list. Then the second phase, which is the actual engagement with beta testers, so the actual campaign itself. Uh, and if you want, you can also organize some support actions, workshops, or webinars, or things like this if necessary. And the last phase for analyzing the results. So how do you get started? So we've tried to make the ReachOut Beta Center as easy to use as possible. So all self-service, and so you can go to the ReachOut project website, register your project. However, typically we're here to help. So what we'll do is we will set up a call with you to make sure that you're okay, whether you need any help. We can also help you go through the entire ReachOut methodology and help you implement your beta testing campaign. So we're here to help, which is what we are, because we're a coordination and support action. So we're here to help other projects. And finally, also note that even though ReachOut's been funded by the European Commission for H2020 projects, it's also open to all European SMEs and open source projects. So it's now time to look at the ReachOut Beta Center. So here I've opened the URL for ReachOut. So there's the cookie consent which I accept here. And so just a quick look at the Beta Center. As I said, you can find the ReachOut methodology here on the Beta Center. It contains a number. It contains the full methodology, which is like a superset of the slides I've just presented. The methodology is also available as a reference document, and we also provides, as I mentioned, a number of tools and templates here. So there's some slides describing the toolkit, and for each of those elements, we explain to you what the dashboard is, which we'll look at in a few minutes. We'll give you some information about software packaging, about the documentation. We explain what's the best incentives for beta testers are and how you could consider rewarding beta centers. We provide you with templates for beta testing agreements. And there's also information about the campaign webpage and the communication package. Regarding the questionnaire, we also provide the content of those 34 questions I was mentioning before, so that you can have a look at them beforehand and prepare the customization. And the communication package provides material which you can use, such as announcement emails, tweets, campaign web pages, wrap-up email, flyers, and so on. So these are material that you can use during the preparation and the execution of your campaign. So let's now assume that I'm a new project leader. So I'm a project leader for or I'm part of a project, Next 2020 project, or an SME who's produced a beta version, and I would like to organize a beta testing campaign. So what I just do here is I click on this button and it tells me that the first thing to do is to register. So in the registration form, I just provide my name here. I provide my email. So I've prepared an email here for this webinar. I declare the country in which I am, and I create here the username. So let's just say this is my username. I enter some password and I accept the consent. Then I have to type in the captcha here and I can register. So what happens when I register? I'm told that I'm getting a confirmation email. So here I have the confirmation email with the activation link. So when I click on the activation link, it will go to the login page where I re-enter my password, and I'm logged in. So when I log in as a new campaign manager, what we've done in the ReachOut Beta Center is I'm directly taken to the page where I can declare or I can create my new project. So let's pretend here that I have a project which is called the November 2020 ReachOut webinar. So I'm creating this project. And then when I create a project, I have to provide information which will be publicly displayed later on as part of the campaign page. So I provide the URL of my project. So let's say I'm going to do a beta testing campaign for ReachOut. I provide the project logo, a short description, and I also provide a more extensive description which will be displayed on the project, and then I save. So what this does is this creates, if you like, a shell for all the possible campaigns, because I can have several campaigns in one project. So this is what it will look like. If I'm not happy, I can edit it and make some changes. Then the next stage is to provide some details about the campaign. So let's just say so we provide slightly different templates for different types of campaigns, whether it's a SaaS software, a mobile app, or a software project in general. And also we have a specialized one for the agri-food area. So here in the case of ReachOut, it's a SaaS service, and I'm just going to give a name to this campaign. So the campaign's about testing the ReachOut platform. And so when I create the campaign, it generates what I call the campaign page formula. So in this form, I enter the date. So let's say the campaign will start today. It will end in the end of December. I provide for the beta testers some idea about how much time it will take him. So this is important for beta testers to know how much time they will need to provide all the testing activities. Then here I can provide some objectives, so describe the objectives of this campaign. So we have a syntax, which is the XWiki syntax, to be able to put some formatting here, so we can help you with that or provide you with the documentation. And then for beta testers, I also have to tell to whom who the targets are. So in my case, it's any, whether it's business users or developers, and it's quite easy, so it's for beginners. And then the next section is to provide some requirements. So you could have some specific requirement for your campaign regarding software, hardware, types of browser, data that you need to have on hand. So here I'm putting the requirements to be able to declare a project in ReachOut. The next one is the scenario. This is very important. So you should guide as much as possible your beta testers. You can either give them the instructions here, or you can point to a web page if you already have a web page in your project, to be able to give the exact instructions that they should do to perform the test before answering the questionnaire. Then the last one is the incentives. So there's no incentives in this one because it's a test campaign, but typically there's several incentives you could provide. Uh, so the first one would be some goodies if you have some goodies in your project. Also, I can mention here that we have what we call the Hall of Fame. So in ReachOut, what we propose is we propose that each beta tester who give their email in the questionnaire will be contacted and asked whether they want to appear in the Hall of Fame. So usually they're quite happy to be recognized and have their name here. And also, last to mention is that ReachOut has some budget as well to be able to give money prizes to beta testers. So for each of the campaign, we ask the campaign manager to contact us, and then we evaluate the difficulty of the campaign and how much money prize we can give to beta testers. So usually it's limited per campaign. So typically it can be based on maximum number of eligible beta testers for a given campaign. And if there are more, then there could be a draw at the end of the campaign. So when I save the campaign, what this will do behind the scene is it will create the questionnaire based on those 34 questions that I mentioned. It also creates the mailing list that I talked about beforehand, and uh, and then the the preview of what the campaign will look like is this will be displayed for the campaign manager. So this is a step that takes the most time because we generate the questionnaire behind the scene. So here it tells me that the campaign's been created and I can still edit the details. The questionnaire has been generated, which I can edit and customize. And so being logged in as a campaign manager, it tells me that the campaign is not published. So if I was to open uh, a window, another browser window anonymously, I will not be able to see it. It's a preview of what the beta testers are going to see. So it's just information that I've input. And for the beta tester, for the campaign manager, it reminds me that the campaign is not published. It gives me the URL of the mailing list, which has been created to exchange with the beta testers. And if I look at my mailbox here, I will be able to see that the survey has been created. Okay, that's fine. So if I go back to the campaign itself, now the next step to do is of course editing the campaign details. If I want to do some more fine tuning, I can customize and activate the questionnaire, which I will do in a minute. And the focus of today is to look at the campaign dashboard. So the campaign dashboard, which we are going to open here, is a self-declarative dashboard. So at the moment, everything is at 0. It's self-assessment, and it guides you through all the different steps that I mentioned briefly during the slide presentation. So if I edit this dashboard, I can look at all the different elements for the 3 stages of management, preparation, and execution. So typically, so here in the management phase, I'm asked whether the goal is clearly elicited. So is it clear whether we're doing functional or non-functional testing, what we want to demonstrate, what we want to position? So in my case, it's clear. So let's just say yes. Same thing for the scope. Is the scope of the campaign documented? Is other functionalities clear? Are we sure that we can achieve some kind of hello world scenario? So here it's true, and so forth and so on. So have I made a presentation of this to all the project partner? Are the partners okay in my project that we are doing this campaign? Is there a better campaign manager? So obviously yes, because I'm here. Have I got somebody to support the beta testers? Have I already appointed some internal beta testers within my project? So it's a good practice to do so. Have I defined who my beta testers are? So in my case, it's yes. And have I defined and ordered the incentives? So let's just say no at this stage. And then in terms of preparation, have I got the scenario? So scenario is fine. Have I tested already the project? Yes. Did I test whether the link's operational? Let's just say yes, but I need to make sure again. Have I defined the scenario? almost is the documentation here. So let's say I'm not sure about the documentation. Have I developed the questionnaire? So at this point I haven't, because I haven't fine-tuned it. Is the fine print ready? Yes, it is on this website. And the communication package, no, I'm not ready yet. And for the other ones, for the execution, at the point I'm at, there's no, the campaign page is not live. I haven't done any promotion. I haven't recruited beta testers. And the further ones is more related to the life of the campaign when questionnaire starts coming back and analysis has been done. Have I done some reporting, feedback with ReachOut and delivered the reward? So if I save the dashboard, we'll be able to see now that the different lines have changed and there's some color have appeared. So it looks like I'm okay from the strategic management point of view. Preparation is quite okay, but I still need to develop the questionnaire and the execution hasn't started yet. So this is the kind of features that the dashboard offers you. It's meant to be, again, it's meant to be self-service. So as I showed you with the information, the info boxes that are available for each of the item, you can click on them and it gives you a list of things that you need to look at and do for this. So that's it for the dashboard. And so if I go back to the campaign, the next stage was to customize the questionnaire. So let's just go to this. So it takes me to Lime Survey. So Lime Survey is the software that manages the questionnaire. So the Lime Survey platform of ReachOut. And if I log in, I'm taken to my campaign. So what it shows me the structure of the 34 questions. So I have questions about setting up. Did I manage to access and set up the software? How would I rate the software setup? And also it asked me whether I could go through. So there's functional feedback section, a user experience section, a next step section, a summary section, and an about you section. So as you can see, some of the questions such as this one, the following the feedback question, which I can preview at any time. So if I preview it here, you can see that this is what the beta tester will see. It needs to be customized. So in this case, I can easily customize the question by editing the sub questions here. So was I able to, so this is functional. So in the case of ReachOut, was I able to create my project in ReachOut? Was I able to create my campaign? And so were you able to create your project? Sorry, were you able to create your campaign? And were you able to use the management dashboard? So then I can save. And if I preview the question now, uh, the question looks more like what I need for my campaign. So at any time, uh, you can delete any of those questions. You can create some questions. You can rephrase some questions. So let's just, for the sake of simplicity, I can also decide to delete the entire group of question. Why not? To make it simpler. And okay, this is just an example of things I can do. So when I'm happy, I go to the page and I can decide to activate the survey. So you should activate the survey only when you're quite sure that there's no more modifications to do. Why? It's because once the survey has been activated, you cannot add or remove questions. You could correct some typos and change some of the wording, but you cannot change the structure. So you should really make sure that we preview the survey and validate it, possibly with other people within your organization, to make sure that the survey satisfies your need. And then you can activate the survey. So we decided that yes, we want to recall the timestamps, and we activate the survey. So the survey is now active. So if I go back to my survey here and reload that page, I will see that it's active, and now it's live. So what I can do is I can open another browser with, let's just do it here. and I can go to ReachOut and play the role of the beta tester. So if now I'm a beta tester, so I'm okay with this. I'm a beta tester. What I want to do is check the campaigns, and I should be able to see here a new campaign, which is the ReachOut webinar, which I've just created for the sake of this demonstration. So I look at all the objectives, etc., and I'm quite happy to do it. So I've done the test, and now as a beta tester, I can answer the questionnaire. So I will see the number of questions here. Was I able to access it? Software setup was fine. Did I manage to go through the scenario? Yes. Was I able to create the project, the campaign, and use the dashboard? So this is the question I've just customized. Did everything behave as according to the documentation? Yes. What's the most important feature? So here I'm just going to write test for the sake of this demonstration, and so on and so forth. Then if I click next, there's further questions. So here I've skipped the user experience. So now it's all about the next steps. So would I be interested in using the software? Does it make me want to know more, etc., and so on and so forth. And there's some of the questions here are conditional. Some of them are compulsory, some of them are not. So I'm just going to finish this just to show what then the campaign manager will see. And business user and remember the project. And here I can provide my email address if I want to participate in the incentive program. Again, so there's an informed consent page. So if the beta tester provides their email address, we'll contact them prior to publishing their name on the Hall of Fame. We'll ask for their authorization, and they will be able to participate in the draw. So here, as an anonymous beta tester, I have provided some feedback. So if I go back to the survey as a campaign manager now, so I go back to my survey, and if I go to the responses, I will be able to see that I've got one full response. So I can look at the statistics in the simple mode, just to show you the graphs. So here, of course, there's only one answer, so the graphs are not very meaningful. And so you'd have more explicit graphs if you had more answers, of course. And what I can also do is I can export the responses, and I can export them in various formats, so including all of those, which I can then use myself to do some analysis of the results. So while I'm here, and because this was a demonstration, and I do not want to, sorry, I do not want to leave this campaign live. Let's just pretend that I'm finished, and what I'll do is I will stop the survey. So the survey will be deactivated. So there's two options. Either you expire it, in which case you lose everything, but you can have statistics. Sorry, nothing is lost. However, it's not accessible to the participants anymore, whereas this deactivation, where you lose all the participant information. So here I will just expire it. Here we go. So if I go back to the scenario, so here what I've done is I've covered all the steps from being able to create. So if I go back to my project, I will now see, sorry, I will now see that I should see that the campaign has been deactivated. Let me just reload this page. And strangely enough, it appears as still active. So that's the demo effect. So I've covered the whole life cycle of the platform where I register. I can self-register. I can declare my project. I can create my campaign, fine-tune it, fine-tune the questionnaire, and use the dashboard to be which guides me through the various steps. And again, there's a number of resources here. that I can use to help. And the most important point as well is that the ReachOut project team is here to help you. So what we can typically provide is we can organize a web session such as this one, but with this to discuss with you the various steps and the various elements you would need. We can answer any technical questions that you may have. And we can also guide you in detail with dedicated sessions by providing you help building the campaign. What we can also do is, in case you're not quite sure whether you want to use ReachOut within your project, we can also organize webinars for one of your project meetings. That's also a possibility, which we'll be happy to do. So don't forget, we're here to help. And one last point, because we're a support action, it's all free. So it's free for European research projects. H2020 projects is also free for startups and for open source projects. So that's what we're paid for by Europe. So don't hesitate to ask for help.